This used to be my bank, Santander, and they've closed down recently. But before they closed down, maybe a year before they closed down, I left them because they're crooks. But I ask you, why have they closed down? Why are so many banks closing down? My friend in Boreham Wood told me that there are no banks open in her area. There's no banks at all in her area. This is obviously a red flag. It's a massive red flag. Why are all the banks closing down? Okay, so in 2008, 2009, there was a big crash. There was a big financial crash. Northern Rock in this country was particularly hit, and there were people queuing up probably around the block to take their money out. There was a run on the bank. If there's a massive crash this year or next year, and the banks freeze all our accounts, how can we queue up outside the bank to get our money out if they're all closed? Hello? Hello? How can we queue up outside the banks, go to the banks to get our money out if we can see that these banks are crashing, if they're all closed? This is a massive warning to us that these banks are closing. It's a massive warning to us. If they're all closed, we will be forced and expected to only deal with these banks via the internet, via banking apps, and via online banking. It will be cashless. These banks are all closing, getting ready for cashless, for a cashless society. They're going cashless on us. And cashless means total control. The digital ID that the government wants is directly aligned to cashless. Digital ID is total control. Digital ID is programmable money. Digital ID, they dictate to you what you spend your money on. They dictate to you whether you can even use public transport, spend money on public transport, on trains. If they don't like your politics, if they don't like that you are resisting them. And a year ago, I was in Santander and I was speaking aloud and I was warning people that these banks are planning to crash and take our money. I warned people about the bail-in that they've written into the terms and conditions of the banks, bail-in by the banks. In 2008, 2009, the banks crashed and were bailed out by the government. But now they have activated bail-in. Bail-in, bail-in, if there's a crash, bail-in means they keep our money. They keep our money instead of being bailed out by the banks, by the government. They bail themselves out with our money. These banks are planning to crash and take all our money. So that's the warning. And this Santander is a crook bank. I've already done videos about them. I've done videos about them. They refuse to give me a direct debit indemnity after free took 5 years of payments from me after I left them. So Santander is a particularly crooked bank. All these banks are crooked. They're all working against us along with the UK government. The government doesn't want to push digital ID on us because it wants to care for us, because it wants to look after us. It wants total control over us.